Hi, I'm Carol Andrews for another episode of Southwest TV News. Here are some of the stories we're working on for today's show. Saskatchewan's population is aging, and so is its healthcare infrastructure. This is evident in Swift Current, as the 3 long-term care facilities now in place date back to the early 1960s. The Saskatchewan Ministry of Health is once again alerting the public of the looming Hanta Virus. The Heartland Health Region recently confirmed the death of an adult male linked to the Hanta Virus, but the second still under investigation. Another hot summer season is here, and as you look forward to the fun in the sun, the Canadian Cancer Society is reminding you to protect your skin from the burning rays. Thanks for joining us here today. A new long-term care facility in Swift Current is one step closer to becoming a reality. We have more in today's top story. Saskatchewan's population is aging, and so is its healthcare infrastructure. This is evident in Swift Current, as the 3 long-term care facilities now in place date back to the early 1960s. Following years of effort by the Cypress Health Region, the green light has now been issued to go forward with planning for a new 225-bed long-term care facility adjacent to the Cypress Regional Hospital, a facility which will benefit area residents for years to come.
It's more beds. We have currently 198 beds that we operate in the Cypress Health Region. Whenever you start to do functional planning for a new facility, you actually look at your population projections over the next 25 years. What we know is that 25 years from now, 225 beds is the median number that will be required for a population and the growth projections that we're looking at. So again, comfortable that we're building for the future. And again, that's really exciting that we've been able to expand with the future in mind.
The project will move forward with a design, build, finance, maintain public-private partnership, or P3 model, with the province still covering 80% of the costs and the remaining 20% responsible by the City of Swift Current. And according to the province, the P3 model will not only be more cost-effective, but save time from sod turning to opening day.
What we've done is looked at other projects across Canada, and since 2004, they've all been successful, where governments have really what they do is transfer the risk. It comes in, we don't have to worry about change in construction costs or anything else. We take the bid for what it is. The private individual or the private consortium tends to take all those other risks. It has to be done on time or there's huge penalties. It has to be maintained properly or there's penalties. At the end of the agreement, it's turned over to government in shape, and that's all great shape. That's all specified. So we get out of so much of the risk as a government, and that's where there's a huge savings, we think, for the people of Saskatchewan. Not only there, but also the fact that we've got the facility up and running in usually quite a bit shorter time.
And as far as overall ownership of the new long-term care facility in Swift Current, McMorris had these comments.
Actually, that's a bit of a myth in that P3s are not owned by whoever is tendering, like schools. The winning bidder doesn't own the school. The government owns the school. They go through the process of designing, building, maintaining, and financing. But the health region, in this case, or education, still have ownership. It's still a public asset.
And as the Cypress Health Region looks forward to moving into the new long-term care facility next to the Cypress Regional Hospital, Vashon anticipates a smooth transition, both through ownership and staffing.
We don't own the Palliser, actually. It's owned by SPMC, or property management that is a government building. We do own the lodge and the Swift Current Care Centre. But I just think it is a different kind of a funding model, and it's important that people understand that the region is the owner of this building. We are from the day that we move in, and we will be through the contract that is part of a P3, and it's our staff that will be operating it.
In the coming weeks, the tendering process for private contract partners will continue, with the actual cost for the construction determined at a later date. If all goes according to plan, work at the site will begin in the spring of 2014, with an opening date set for 2016. The road to a new long-term care facility in Swift Current has been in the works since 2002. Southwest TV News will continue to follow this story in the coming weeks. When you think about agriculture in Saskatchewan, livestock and grain are some of the first things that come to mind. Cam McLeod is an entrepreneur in Cabri thinking outside of the box, starting his own cherry farm business in 1999 called Cleod Nine Orchards. The biggest challenge for McLeod was making sure his cherry plants could handle the harsh winters of Saskatchewan, and explains how he determined there was an opportunity for success.
The University in Saskatoon is doing some wonderful things with plants that will survive our Saskatchewan winters. And they come out with a Carmine Jewel variety of sour cherry in '99. I heard about them, started planting them heavy in 2000 and planted right up until 2007. And between two properties, I've got about 6,000 trees growing.
What attracted McLeod to this type of cherry was its deep purple hue and flavor, which is hardy and easy to process. Even with cherry plants that can survive the winters, McLeod still had many obstacles facing him. These plants take 5 years to grow to their proper size. And with no initial financial profit from the crop, his income would have to come from other sources.
I knew there wasn't going to be any money off the place I kind of expected 10 years. I was hoping things would come together a little quicker. And we had production, so we did sell off a few cherries here and there. But I had part-time jobs off farm, and lots of times I went away in the wintertime and pipelined and just did what I had to do to keep paying the bills here. And then 2 years ago was kind of the turning point. I come out of the bush in the end of March and thought, that's enough of that. I'm just going to go full-time with this.
McLeod then decided to explore the processing side of the business and created the Santa Fe Food Company in 2011. He developed 3 unique sauces out of his cherries, which can be found in stores in Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Alberta, and British Columbia. McLeod firmly believes in all natural ingredients and does not include any preservatives, color, added flavor, or salt. In order for Santa Fe Foods to be a success, he needed to expand his business. And with the help of Community Futures Southwest, was able to turn his dreams into a reality.
I was getting into heavy production then, so I needed a harvester, and we just talked about things, and finally in '08 I signed with them, and that's when I made some improvements, got a mechanical harvester, did some piping and some running some irrigation lines and such to try to water what I've already got on the go, and things like that. They were a big help when it came to it. The situation I was in, I didn't think anybody would even look at me, kind of thing.
Thanks to Community Futures Southwest, success stories such as Cleod Nine Orchards and Santa Fe Food Company are becoming more popular. Community Futures Southwest helps business owners with financing and business training, making dreams become a reality. Contact their office today. Southwest TV News is hitting the road with our annual Summer Around the Southwest tour, covering a variety of exciting events across the region. The Southwest TV News Summer Around the Southwest tour is proudly brought to you by Innovation Credit Union. Imagine the possibilities. Another exciting season of Market Square returns to downtown Swift Current, featuring live entertainment, fresh garden produce, crafts, and other unique vendors. Market Square, every Saturday at the corner of Central and Chaplin. Presented by Standard Motors, in partnership with Innovation Credit Union and Southwest TV News. What do you know about Hanta Virus? In this report, we take a closer look at the connection to deer mice. The Saskatchewan Ministry of Health is once again alerting the public of the looming Hanta Virus. The Heartland Health Region recently confirmed the death of an adult male linked to the Hanta Virus, with a second still under investigation. Hanta Virus is a rare but potentially fatal illness, connected to the exposure to fecal droppings, urine, and saliva of deer mice. This generally occurs in the rural areas, where the deer mice circulate in wood piles, garages, or sheds, with the contaminated particles becoming airborne through sweeping or vacuuming of buildings. And with many grain producers now busy preparing their bins for the upcoming harvest, they're reminded to take the necessary precautions. This includes wearing a proper mask, gloves, airing out the building by opening up the doors or windows at least 30 minutes before entering, and to avoid using a broom if possible to stir up the contaminated dust. And rather choose a wet mop while using a bleach solution. And if you do start feeling ill, you should be on the lookout for the following symptoms of the Hanta virus.
Well, typically, if you've got that history of having cleaned out your barn or granary or shed, and soon after that you sort of get fever. Fever is a very classical one. I mean, many times when you've cleaned out places, you might feel a bit of fatigue, and maybe that's just from the hard work. But if you have fever, headache, nausea and vomiting, more severe muscle aches, even diarrhea in some cases, and abdominal pain, and more so if you get any respiratory symptoms, especially shortness of breath, then you should attend to the nearest facility and be seen to make sure and to be tested.
Deer mice are generally found on the prairies, with the spread of Hanta virus fairly rare. Including the most recent fatality this year, 24 Hanta virus cases and 7 deaths have been reported in Saskatchewan since 1994. W.W. Smith Insurance has reached a milestone as it celebrates its centennial. Having served Southwest Saskatchewan for the past 100 years, W.W. Smith Insurance is your motor license issuer, while specializing in all of your personal and commercial needs, including home, auto, agro, business, and life insurance. W.W. Smith Insurance, independently owned and operated since 1913.
Our company helps tell your story and provides you with the solution on how to market your business. Because making a great video is only half the equation. You have to know how to use it.
We have done a major.
Summer is in full swing, and before you head outdoors, health experts are again reminding you to slap on the sunscreen. Another hot summer season is here, and as you look forward to the fun in the sun, the Canadian Cancer Society is reminding you to protect your skin from the burning rays. This includes limiting your exposure to the sun when its rays are the strongest, between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. Wear a hat, seek shade whenever possible, and use a sunscreen with an SPF factor of 15 or higher. The more precautions you take now, the better off your skin will be in the long run.
I always say your skin's kind of like an elephant. It never forgets. So, you get that sunburn and it fades away, but unfortunately your skin doesn't forget that. So the damage builds up. It's accumulative. So year after year, that is building up. And it might be 10, 20, 30 years down the road that you might pay for that sunburn. So really, a sunburn or even your skin tanning is a sign of damage. So, just really taking precautions to protect your skin so that you can hopefully reduce your risk of developing skin cancer later in life.
Calendar goes on to stress that no matter your skin type, we're all at risk to a sunburn.
That a lot of people think that if they have naturally darker skin that they don't have to worry, but regardless of the color of your skin, we all need to protect our skin. It's the largest organ of our body, and it can be damaged regardless of skin color.
By actively using sunscreen and reapplying it throughout the day and limiting your overall exposure to the sun can benefit your skin and overall health in the long run. And if you do notice any changes in your skin or any suspicious moles, contact your physician. According to the Canadian Cancer Society, melanoma is the most preventable form of cancer. While Well, this brings to a close another episode of Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you. We always welcome your news tips. You can always reach us here by phone at our studio or by email to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. Also, be sure to join us daily online for the latest news from across Southwest Saskatchewan and so much more at mylocaltv.ca. And be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Carol Andrews.